investors. And as people know, we're on the trajectory to list. It's the most important thing is that we get to that point as fast as possible. We've been working on setting everything up for the launch, and we also have other opportunities or with other investments that we've done. I asked Alex to be on this call with us on this AMA because, as some of you may know, in one of the previous AMAs months ago, we mentioned that we made an investment from the capital that we had in the company to Flashgas, since Flashgas will be using their driver delivery network to distribute our products with quick delivery to patients. And we're using the Flashgas delivery network, which has been growing. These past months, Flashgas has had strong growth in their driver network. There's even drivers now in Hawaii. There's in many states, and it's growing. And wherever the Flashgas driver network is present, that's a region where we can also use that same delivery driver network for for our product sales to users through doc.com. So basically, Flashgas has been growing. We're going to make another investment into Flashgas to grow our position at doc.com and investing into Flashgas. Alex is the CEO of Flashgas, even though he's also we share many of the same developers currently, even though it's planned that down the road we're going to separate them. But since they had done such a great job with Flashgas and Flashgas's growth, I wanted to take a sure route in regards to development, and they ended up building our apps for doc.com as well. So we have a shared development team. And that also makes the integration for all the delivery aspects of doc.com with the delivery driver network easier. It makes it much more streamlined. It's easier to connect the apps. So we have a new investment that's confirmed. It's this is just recent. What this will allow us to do is that we can increase the scope of the launch. It doesn't take away the commitments that we've been working on, the large funding commitments that we've been working on for the listing. This is kind of it bridges the gap between now and listing, because the moment we list, we plan on having access to a lot more capital and growing a lot faster as a public company. But it was very important for us to do the filing, because the filing allowed us to pursue different investment options. And that's why I was so adamant with getting the filing done, because once the filing was done, once you have a public company audit and you file a Reg A, it changes the perspective dramatically for investors, especially institutional investors, because they know that we're on the path to list, and it makes it much more attractive because it's a clear path towards listing. So people see it as near more a liquidity event near closer. So it makes it more attractive for investors. And what we're doing is, we're scaling up the price towards the listing price. So everything is done the right way. And, as we increase the value of the company with contracts and with additional funding, we lead up to the target listing price that we have. And so it makes sense that way, and it's solid. It's something that it's backed by new investors and backed by the right methodology to reach the correct listing price. very similar to what happens in the crypto space. You know, people usually they offer at a certain price point starting, and then down the road, you know, a couple months, the price increases, et cetera. It's very similar in that sense. It works the same way with shares. You know, we do the filing and stuff. So as as everyone knows, we have convertible notes out, and that's has always been the method to acquire new funding to convertible notes, so we can protect the share price after listing. So there are restrictions to that, but you know, you can either choose to stick stick by your guns and follow that path for the benefit of all shareholders down the road, uh, or you know, you can give newer investors certain benefits and give them free trading shares, which is what many other companies do. But we decided not to do that because ultimately we want to have a solid listing price for doc.com. Uh, Flashgas is in the same process. So Flashgas, um, since I've been involved, they're also taking the path to become public, and I just see it as a much more transparent way of going about doing this and raising capital and listing. And also, it's a mutual benefit for both companies. If Flashgas benefits and growth, it ultimately allows doc.com to also have faster access to delivery drivers, so we can focus on the healthcare services, and we can also distribute products to people in a quick format instead of having it shipped, which is still an option. Having it shipped, it just takes longer. So you know, that's it's these kinds of partnerships that are worthwhile to do. So basically, right now we're getting there's new investors that are coming in. We're going to have additional access to capital in the next 5 weeks. Uh, we're planning on doing a much larger launch, or at least marketing and PR in a much larger way. Um, we just had this investment confirmed. I didn't want to mention it until it was locked in, but it's also that's you know it's a significant announcement because of the fact that this allows us to get to a listing and really list at a much with a much stronger position. Let's see. Can everyone still hear me all right? Can you guys please confirm that you can hear me all right still?
Yeah, we
Okay,
hear you.
okay,
We hear you.
okay, excellent, excellent. Yeah, I just thought it was breaking up for me, so I thought, okay. So there's two things we want to offer the community. Um, Flashgas is en route. We're going to uh, this investment we're going to be using right now to ramp up our PR marketing efforts and do a larger launch. And as soon as our Reg A is approved, we're going to be doing a filing, adding all the things that have happened in these last weeks since we did the filing. So we still have we're probably 2 weeks out, could be a little bit longer to get the Reg A approved that we filed, but business as usual. In the meantime, we've been doing all the stuff that we need to do to ensure that we have a larger launch. We still are, you know, taking an investment from institutional investors, locking in the contracts, locking in everything that we need to lock in so we can really have something that is solid for the listing day. And that includes, you know, having operations running well, doing our filing, announcing, you know, basically signing our large investment commitments and whatever other contractual uh, contracts that we were able to obtain in the meantime. So I mentioned that we were working on the Red Cross contract. That's something that's we're going to be adding to our next filing. You know, this is kind of the method I'm announcing it publicly through our AMAs. And right now, we're about to sign that contract. It'll also be disclosed in our next filing. And we also are taking in this new investment, and we're also going to put out uh, for those of you that still want to get some shares, we still have to reach our minimum amount of shareholders. We have to have at least 300 minimum shareholders, 300 or more. But it's the right timing for us to uh, offer maybe this another round for people to be able to get shares to help us increase our shareholder base and scale up the price of the shares towards the listing. So basically, we're using the funds that we just raised right now to do a large marketing and PR campaign. There's still several things that we have to do. In the meantime, we still have to choose a marketing company. We've interviewed with several of them, many of them, more than five. Um, there's a there's an option to use Brad Scales company. There's the option to use Quinton's company. There's some options that Jamie also brought to the table, um, and we haven't made the final decision for that yet. But we may do a mix of different marketing companies with different objectives. So, Quinton, for example, has great ideas on our services, how to market our services and add all the narrative of the blockchain component. That's something beneficial that I haven't seen with other marketing companies. There's Brad Scale has this unique AI feature that they use to change ads on the fly. So instead of letting an ad run its full course, they actually have a technology where the AI tells them how to change the ads in real time so they can be optimized before they run their full course. So that's another benefit. So we may do a mix and match. When we may do a mix of using one company for one thing and another company for another thing, instead of just choosing one path. It's just really a matter of having enough capital to try both routes and see which has the highest conversion rates. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be executing a mix so we can see what causes the highest conversion rate as far as users, as far as revenues being generated, as far as growth and awareness. And we're going to mix it with influencer marketing and celebrities, all of that. Jamie's handling all of that. And we're just going to, what we want is just be able to measure everything and really, really say, okay, we're getting the highest conversion rates from this source as opposed to this source, and look at the metrics and see which one we decide to invest more into. But I was focused on these aspects for the past weeks. It changed a lot after we did our filing because now it's all documented, it's all public. People know that we're on this path already, and it just sweetens everything much more having these contracts, that they're pending, but they should be signed relatively soon, um, and then having enough capital to actually execute on them and promote and market our services the right way so we can have the fastest growth possible. All of that geared towards listing, having a share price that's not only priced well, but we can easily defend. It's very important that we maintain uh, price stability, after listing. Um, so, we're gearing for that, preparing for whatever criticism we may receive, but just focusing on the fundamental aspects, which are giving consultations, selling products, and making sure that they get the right delivery, either through quick delivery, through Flashgas driver network, or shipping. But we have to ensure that that cycle happens and that we're growing in users and that we're growing in sales and the people are getting free basic healthcare and the business model is running as it should. So I think it puts us every time that we get into a stronger position because these these things that are happening. It's as the weeks progress, we're fund you, but X amount of months down the road, that's not something that works for us. I mean, it's great to have those commitments, but there's still we have to take advantage of this new season. The winter season is coming. We're about to go into it, and there's a lot of healthcare related needs. There's a lot of places in the world that are in conflict. There's a lot of things that are happening in parallel. For example, Flashgas is increasing their delivery network. Well, that means that instead of starting with our nationwide plan to ship almost purely nationwide and only do quick delivery in Florida, now we can expand on that because Flashgas already has a growing network and they have multiple states. I think, just yesterday I got the news that they had, for example, 10 new drivers in the state of Hawaii. And I thought, wow, Hawaii was a pain point for us because shipping there is more expensive. So having a quick delivery network in Hawaii is really beneficial for us. But, they're growing to other states as well. So it benefits us and it benefits them as well. And, I think the more success we have, it'll also benefit Flashgas because we'll be able to expand on our delivery of oxygen to patients, but also and products as well. And at the same time, as Flashgas grows, we'll also have more delivery drivers for Doc.com products, and they're all running through the same system. Basically, they're receiving orders both from Flashgas and from Doc.com, which makes a very, very nice incentive as a driver. One of the cool things about this is if you compare what a driver makes in Uber, in the case of Doc.com and Flashgas, they make a lot more per delivery than they do on a drive with a Uber with an Uber user. So, is it cutting out? See that I may be cutting out. I should have better signal in a moment. Can you hear me still? Okay. All right, sounds good. So basically what we're going to be doing now is we're still going to share the links with there's still the caps on the Reg A that's still happening. But we're also going to make a push for those who are interested, both on Doc.com and Flashgas. This increases our share price, pre-listing. We're going to be sending out, or basically publishing here shortly, probably by the end of the day today, into the community group. It's and just basically offer people the chance to get some shares at a discounted price before we do the next scale up to the next. We're going to increase the value once we have the other contract signed. That should increase the value of the company, and we'll do another round then at a higher price point. It'll still be lower than the listing price, but it'll still be an opportunity for people to get some shares at a discounted price point. And with this funding, what it means is that we'll be able to do a bigger launch, a larger launch than we had originally planned. Which it's still nationwide, but it really came down to how much we're going to really do in ads and ad buys and marketing and PR spending. So we're still going to be able to do a nationwide launch. Difference is we're going to be able to put a lot more funds into marketing and PR. Can you guys still hear?
Yeah, we hear you. By the way, Charles,
Okay.
I sent both of the links. I sent the Reg D and the Reg S. So just keep in mind, whoever's listening, one is for U.S. citizens only, and the other is for foreign nationals. Okay.
Yeah. So there's two things. So we're sharing first of all, part of the funds that we're receiving, we're going to invest into Flashgas so they can grow their delivery driver network faster, which will, uh, it's those investments that were audited already. The first investment we made into Flashgas as part of our PCAOB audit, it's on there on the audit. We're going to invest another amount so they can grow their delivery driver network, and we're going to focus the rest of the funds into marketing doc.com services and growing the services. So that's how this investment is going to be done, and so we can grow simultaneously, have offer a better service for patients at the end. Not only offer them just one state with quick delivery, offer them multiple states with quick delivery, and we can kind of speed that process up. So there's two things on doc.com side. um, we're going to share a link to the updated convertible note for those who are interested. And for the Flashgas side, they're at a different stage. There right now, they filed a Reg D, and there's opportunity to buy discounted shares on Flashgas, which is also on a similar path to doc.com to go public, but they'll go public after doc.com. But we're kind of symbiotic in the sense that our growth will affect them and their growth affects us in beneficial ways. So it's a good it's a really good investment for us. Um, if we increase Flashgas's value and their growth, it'll end up affecting whoever invests in doc.com in a positive way as well, since doc.com is a shareholder of Flashgas, and that's how we're going about this. So that's pretty much it right now. I'm still going to be doing the AMA on Friday, and give additional updates, because there's things that we probably will have signed in the next 3 days. Once that's done, uh, I'll be once that's done, I'll be announcing the contracts that we did have signed in time. We still have basically from now till we do the upgrade to an S1 filing to lock in and sign the rest of the contracts. But it's looking very good right now. Having done the filing really was a major leap and boost for us, especially on the institutional side. It made us much more attractive to institutional investors, and this is a very beneficial thing for us to have done this. Let's see. I'm gonna put. I'm going to move to a better location. Just give me 2 minutes. Hello? Can you guys?
All right. Looks like Charles is finding a better spot. So as he joins back, I just quickly want to share the vision of Flashgas, as we envision a world where convenience, sustainability, and accessibility meets seamless in the gas refilling process. Flashgas is not just another app. It's really a solution that will simplify the lives of millions of households and businesses. Our cutting edge technology our mobile application really empowers users to order, schedule, and track their gas deliveries with unparalleled ease. So there are many ways that you can benefit from this. The reason why the why behind investing in Flashgas is we're disrupting this whole industry. Our app is set to disrupt the traditional gas refilling market, and we're really pioneering a new, more convenient way to get propane and gas delivered, or any kind of household gas, directly to your doorstep. And this innovation is capturing attention of homeowners really nationwide. So Charles was just talking about Hawaii. We haven't really marketed it with paid advertising on Hawaii, and we're receiving a very good response from customers, from drivers, and from retailers without even marketing on those areas. So it looks like Charles is back. So I'm gonna just pass him the ballot, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean the general objective for this is there's really I mean things have changed obviously, and the community knows everything that we've gone through. Right now it's it's important that we focus on doing the fundamental things, like ensuring that the services are working well, that we do a good launch, that we do our strategy towards listing the right way. And the end benefit of that is that we will have something that we can grow, not only the business itself, but we can also execute the blockchain aspect the correct way. So, people always ask, what about MTC? I've talked about this multiple times in past AMAs. It's always been contemplated that we ensure that all the aspects of blockchain that are beneficial are showcased, and then we do it under a compliant structure. So as a public company, so the plan with MTC has blockchain implemented, but not just, you don't need a token, for example, to really benefit from the blockchain technology aspects. Where the token comes into play, that it is beneficial, is where there's the economic gain in value from having a token that has true utility and is actually used for something beneficial that you can see works. You don't want to have a token that's just trading there just because people speculate on it. You want to have something that has true utility and it's linked technologically. And the best way to go about that, to actually execute and have success with something that contains all the benefits of blockchain technology, including the economic aspect of it, is to have something that's executed and launched under the right compliance structure. So the actual economic aspect or trading aspect that pertains to MTC has to be handled through a foundation, so there's not conflicts of interest, and that's why we decided to do it this way. So it's compliant, so it's clear and transparent on how MTC is used, for what reasons it's used. For example, we're starting off with the hashing, which provides a baseline utility for MTC, but we also want to showcase that it can also turn into rewards or loyalty program, so we can incentivize patients to take care of their health, to buy more products through doc.com, and that's where the economic benefit is present. Now, anything that can generate potential revenues or profits from it must be done under a regulated structure. And that's really the mistake, where a lot of these companies that have anything related to any token or blockchain component, have that uphill battle. And so we're not doing it that way. We're doing it differently. We want to be a showcase of excellence, and a reference for something good that was done with blockchain technology and all aspects of it, including a crypto economy, but we have to roll it out in stages so it's so we can actually showcase the true benefits of it, and instead of going backwards, and that's how we have to do it now, and that's how we're executing it. So we're following the rules that need to be followed because in the long term, it's beneficial for us, and our ultimate goal is to achieve our mission of providing free basic healthcare for the world. So I had a talk recently with this investor group, the ones that we just closed this commitment with, and they were asking a lot of the aspects of blockchain and how we plan on doing this, and how it influences the services. And I always tell them, if you see doc.com's mission is to provide free basic healthcare for the world. And whether that is we're using technology and artificial intelligence to optimize our calls so we can reduce the call average time and treat more patients, or we add a loyalty program or a crypto economy that ends up increasing the funds available to provide more free calls, or if we're doing certain types of PR marketing campaigns, everything, all the efforts around it are focused on the mission, which is to provide free basic healthcare. I've always seen us as a healthcare technology company. So we will use whatever technologies are out there to achieve the mission as fast as possible. And obviously, with everything that's happened in the blockchain space, we have to do this the right way. And so this is a strategy that we're using to do this the right way, because we're now doing this in the US. We want to showcase in the number one market in the world, which is the US market. We want to show that we're doing things very innovatively and on the cutting edge, I would say, of technology, talking about blockchain technology in general, but also something that makes sense from a regulatory aspect. So, it's very different from saying, oh, we're just going to go ahead and launch this crypto economy and see what happens afterwards, and we'll fix the problems with regulators afterwards. It's just not the same. We're not living in the same times as 5, 6, 7 years ago. Things have changed dramatically. So we see it clear. A lot of you may have seen how Ripple just basically won their case, which sets a good precedent. So people are realizing the value in blockchain technologies and how there's true value creation with crypto economies and what surrounds blockchain. But it's also better to take this path and do it under the right regulatory structure and be compliant from the get-go. And that way we can achieve success instead of having to battle through it while we're trying to do something good for the world. It's a battle anyways. It's building anything big it's not an easy task. It's a difficult thing. You need a lot of perseverance and time and effort put into it. But it's very clear that doing it this way allows us to showcase doc.com as being a shining example of something done the right way, even though it may have taken longer, or we've launched it under a different structure, but it's still the better way out. So that's basically what the path that we've set ahead. So I would say people trying to see, like, where's a good investment in, what is something, if you believe in what we're doing, if you believe in our mission and why we're doing this, then you can see that the true value, aside from the economic value, will come in people getting served and lives being impacted positively through our services. But really, if you look at it purely from a numbers perspective, you have the opportunity to gain value through being an investor in the shares, And if it's something that, you also have on the blockchain side of things, the foundation will be managing MTC, and that's basically another potential value creation. I always tell people it's a new alternate source of creating value. The thing is, holding that value and actually making it useful is very, very important. So, and this is, I say this from experience. This is, we want to do things better. We want to always improve as time goes by. And, there's still a lot of work to be done. But I think really, if you would have asked me, 5, 6 years ago, it would, the world was very different, especially in the blockchain space. I always think people from Wall Street have asked me, why are you so insistent on the blockchain component? And it's very, very evident that they still don't see the intrinsic value that blockchain technology has, because they're uneducated on the topic. They just see it as a buzzword, but they don't understand the reach of the technology. And what it means is that, wouldn't you want to invest in a company that has much more transparency, that is hashing everything on a publicly verifiable blockchain, that is hashing their sales, their consultations, when there's healthcare data taken in? Wouldn't that be a more logical investment than on something that is just, operating in a certain way, more traditional, doesn't have those additional transparency components? And once, investment bankers understand that, they say, of course, if analysts and everyone that's looking at a stock if everyone's looking at the traditional metrics, but now comes this company that's not only offering the traditional metrics, but an additional set of publicly verifiable metrics and access to a whole another community of people, it just adds more value. It has that component that makes it a smarter investment, because at least, no one knows the future, but at least you have more assurance that you can rely on the numbers that are being reported. There's not crazy financial engineering or anything like that. And that's one of the things, for example, that I admire about Elon Musk and Tesla, the way they've gone about things. They're very transparent with their strategy and stuff, and a lot of people criticize them because it's very different from what is out there. But that also has led to the value of Tesla, growing a lot more and a lot faster than comparable companies. And that's how I see us in the healthcare space. I see us as, we're doing things very differently. I mean, for starters, no one offers free basic healthcare or any, something significant like that, especially in the US. And second of all, we have blockchain transparency, and we also are adding a loyalty program with incentives that are all coming from a crypto economy. That's not happening right now, but it is something that I can publicly say we're working on launching that as a public company, because it's something that we can disclose and we can say, hey, look, this is how we plan on executing this. This is where this additional value is being created, and it's really presented as an innovation in a business model. So it represents an additional revenue stream for us. It represents additional transparency for patients, for investors. It's just a whole different way of looking at it. And that's what we want to achieve. We don't want to be like everybody else. We want something that we come out of the gates and we're doing several things that are different from others, gives us a strong competitive advantage, and ultimately we're helping more people this way. Because it's not just about growth, it's about finding other revenue streams that can feed free basic healthcare, because the more people that we can treat under the free basic healthcare model, the more sales we'll ultimately have, the more ad revenue we'll also have, the more billing that we can do to the insurance company. So it just feeds upon itself in a very beautiful way, and it puts us in the direction to become a true healthcare utility, which is how I want people to perceive it down the road. I always thought, wouldn't it be great if you could just say, hey, I use, I don't know, just a good comparison will be, Kleenex, for example. When people think of, tissue paper, they think of Kleenex. Sometimes that became the word, they, instead of thinking tissue paper, they would think Kleenex because they were so established, and you could always trust on the quality of Kleenex, right? They set the standard. In the same way, I think in healthcare, if you say, hey, you can always just try Doc, use Doc for speaking to a doctor, use Doc to speak to a psychologist or a veterinarian, you start your healthcare journey through Doc, and you know that it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, the quality of the service is a high quality service that works the same way for anyone. It doesn't matter. And it's the same thing with, with many other aspects and products. So basically, we're on this path already, and every time we've been adding more assets to the company, raising more funds and doing it in a much more structured way, not just going out and raising capital and saying, bet on us like this. It's a much more structured, much more beneficial way. We're doing this, and that's why I'm so happy to be doing it more and more as a public company. As a company that's listed, because there's many other innovations. I mean, there's so many with AI alone that will implement. We already have the first demos that we did it to the community, and one of the AMAs a few months ago, where we showed how a consultation can be analyzed and given suggestions and optimized with AI. And that's just a start. So we're going to be doing anything that we can to expand and achieve the mission of free basic healthcare. And that means adding more transparency with blockchain, adding a crypto economy, doing it under the right compliance structure as a public company, and not having to deal with all the downsides of all the craziness that happened in the crypto space. We wanted to say, okay, well, it's something you can trust. It's transparent. You can track everything on the blockchain. Some people want to do that. Some people won't. The point is that whether or not you want it, whether or not you know what blockchain is or not, it's still something that's beneficial for the company to have to increase the value of our products and services. And that's the way I see it. It's the same thing with AI. If we can implement AI in our administrative tasks and not in our operations, and our consultations, in our marketplace, anything that we can use to optimize the whole is a beneficial thing. Whether or not people notice it, it won't matter, because ultimately it's still benefiting the whole. So right now, I think Alex shared just on Flashgas. We're going to prepare we're going to also prepare the links for Doc. So basically, like I said, I had a talk with Alex yesterday. I thought, all right, a lot of these things have been happening behind the scenes, but I also said, let's offer the community the chance to get a piece of this right now, before a lot of people start finding out. I said, it's always been beneficial in so many other ways. Not only that, to have community support and feedback. So, Doc.com invested already into Flashgas. We're going to further our investment into Flashgas, so they can increase their delivery network. People can get shares in Flashgas. They can also get shares in Doc.com. There's both of those opportunities. There's really, the minimums are very, very small, like $20. I just think, I want it to be like it was in the past. In the past with the old company, when we did this out of Mexico, when I did this out of Mexico years ago, there was a lot of people that benefited, because they came in at the right time. And with these things, just based on experience, a lot of it is timing. And so it's a good time right now to if there's interest, to take advantage. For some people, this is a good time to take advantage of these opportunities. I don't want to look back and say, Charles, some people would say, Charles, why didn't you offer this to us before? And we don't want that to happen again because it's happened already in the past. So that's why we're having this talk. I want to keep people updated when there's big things that happen. And so if we benefit, if I benefit, if any of the people in doc.com benefit, the community should benefit because really in a huge way, all the support and the investors and the feedback, all of that we received from the community has given us in a large part what we have now. It's all that effort has come through everyone working hard. And these are the moments when it's like, okay, hey, we just got a big funding commitment right now, so it's going to allow us to do a bigger launch. Well, let's pass on that benefit to the community as well. Hey, before we make the investment to Flashgas, let's offer people shares into Flashgas. We benefit because it's the company's benefit because it increases the shareholder base, and we can fulfill the requirements that we need to fulfill to do a good listing and have success as a public company. But also it's a beneficial thing for investors because they can get shares at a discounted price, and the timing is right. So that's really there's always glory in making money, and with everything that I've gone through and the community has seen, we've all been here together. The major roller coasters and everything that happened with the crypto space. Basically, it's a path that I think it's the best way to do it. I think it's the best path, and it's more from experience and knowing how these things have played out. One of the mistakes that I did in the past early on was when something would happen, I'd go ahead and make these announcements, and people were always expecting an announcement, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. It's not the right way to do it. When there's something big that can make a significant change to the trajectory of the company, whether it's funding or a big contract or something like that, then it's the time to, do those announcements and tell investors, hey, this just happened. It's going to change the course of what we're doing. It's going to change plans a bit. Well, something just happened like that. So, time to tell our community, these are the things that are happening, right? These are the new changes. Here's the benefit. So, I just wanted to do this AMA because this has just happened. I think it's very positive. I'm very happy, and we'll be pushing forwards with the plans. And I'm going to sign off now. It's been 51 minutes since we started the AMA, but we'll go ahead and share these to the community and get feedback from anyone. But that's what we wanted to talk about. So I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for coming on the AMA at short notice. But I think it's valuable when we have big things happen to definitely communicate it and make it beneficial for everyone, so everyone can benefit from it. All right. I don't think there's any other questions here. I'm gonna do my last look through to see if there's any questions, and we will. Let's see. Looking at the questions, I think I responded to the important ones. I don't see anything new. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I wish you an excellent rest of the week. Look forward to the next AMA coming up. And if there's any other thing new, there may be a couple of things. Who knows? We have a lot of things that we're working on. We will announce it to everyone. So hope everyone has an excellent week. I appreciate it. Thank you from the heart. And we'll speak soon again.